Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Sunday, March 19th, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my $15 Bank Shot best bet, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Sunday in college hoops. First up, let's go to the NCAA tournament as Fairleigh Dickinson, the 16th seed Cinderella story, takes on the 9 seed Florida Atlantic Owls. This one's going to be 7:45 Eastern. It'll be on True TV. And right now, FAU is a 13.5 point favorite. Total is at 149.5. Now, Fairleigh Dickinson, what more can be said about this team? They win the play-in round against Texas Southern in the 16 seed play-in in the first 4, and then they take down number 1 seed, only the second time in college basketball history a 16 has beat a 1 in beating Purdue in the first round. Just an unbelievable story here for Fairleigh Dickinson, a team and a program that had a new coach this season in Tobin Anderson. Last year, this team went 4-22 overall in the regular season. Just unbelievable to see this program just rebuild so quickly. They played one of the weakest schedules in college hoops this year. Overall ranked 361st in Ken Palman's strength of schedule. And, overall, I do think shot quality-wise, there was some concerns with Fairleigh Dickinson going into the tournament, offensively especially, where, this team takes a lot of tough shots, and they make them at pretty good rates, and they did so definitely against Purdue and Texas Southern in those first 2 games. But I just don't think we can bank on that game after game. I do think that the clock strikes midnight here on Cinderella, as FAU, a really solid team and knows how to win games, 32-3 themselves this season. They played great against Memphis. It was a game where you could say Memphis was the more talented team, but I think FAU wanted that game more, and you can see that by 18 offensive rebounds. They were getting to the free throw line. They, down the stretch, Memphis had a lead. They just could not hold on to that lead, made some mistakes down the stretch, and FAU took advantage of every single one of those mistakes. So, I do think FAU, we're getting them at a really good price because of that big public upset we saw, with FDU. I think if FDU had not beat Purdue, we would see FAU as a 20-plus point favorite in this matchup. So because it's only at 13.5, we're getting so much value, I think, with the Owls, who I think are still the much better team. Fairleigh Dickinson, give them credit. They played, a great game against Purdue, one of the best teams in the country. But I just don't see it in this matchup. Only a day off. I think FAU takes care of business here. So give me the FAU Owls. I'm going to lay the big number. Next up, let's go to TCU and Gonzaga in the NCAA tournament. This should be a great game between the 6 and 3 seed. This one's going to be a 9:40 Eastern start time. It'll be on TBS in the West region. Gonzaga's a 4.5 point favorite. Total is at 156.5. Now, in my bracket, when I filled out my bracket, I had TCU upsetting Gonzaga in this second round, and I still like the Horned Frogs to win this game, but I'm certainly going to take those 4.5 points just to be safe. TCU was down double digits in the second half against Arizona State. They were struggling defensively in that game, but a nice comeback win for the Horned Frogs. Unfortunate that they were not able to cover for us in that game, but still, Arizona State shot 47% from 3, and TCU still won the game. Really impressive stuff for me. TCU fundamentally forced 13 turnovers, only turned the ball over 5 times themselves, had a 14-6 offensive rebound advantage in that game. So fundamentally, TCU was the better team. The shots weren't falling at the beginning of the game for the Horned Frogs, but they got going as the game went on, and we saw them put up 70 points in the end. Gonzaga had a little bit of trouble in the beginning of that game against Grand Canyon. They found a way to win that game, failed to cover as well, only winning by 12 points. But Gonzaga, we know, this is a team that plays so well in the regular season, but hasn't had a ton of tourney success, and I certainly wouldn't want to lay this big number against a TCU team that's got great shot quality data, pretty solid fundamental team, good, well-coached team as well. So I'm going to take TCU in the points here. I think they win this game, but I'm going to take those points just to be safe. Next up, let's go to the second round of the NIT, as this one's going to be Sam Houston and North Texas. This one's going to be 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. We see North Texas as a 5-point favorite. Total is at 118.5. One of the lowest totals, I think definitely the lowest total we've talked about on the Bank Shot Breakdown this year, and certainly one of the lowest totals overall in college hoops this season. And, for good reason. We see 2 teams that play super slow pace offensively. You see Sam Houston's ranked 290th in average possession length offensively. North Texas even slower. They're actually the slowest team in college basketball on the offensive end, 363rd in average possession length. You got two really good defenses. Sam Houston 15th in adjusted defensive efficiency. North Texas 30th in adjusted defensive efficiency. Two teams that force turnovers, pretty solid on the defensive glass. And, good perimeter defenses, especially North Texas, who's ranked 24th in the nation in three-point defense. That's really important in a game like this because Sam Houston, a lot of their scoring comes from the perimeter. They're 12th in the nation in three-point shooting. So if North Texas is, holding, overall this season, they're holding opponents to 30.6% from deep. Sam Houston may struggle to score in this game. So, North Texas is a 5-point favorite. I think they win this game, but there's no way I can lay those points because in a game where the total's at 118.5, those points come at a real big premium. So, for me, rather than taking the side, I'm looking at the under here. Even though it's a super low total, I still think we get under this number. We have two so slow teams offensively, two great defenses. I think we're going to see a first to 60 wins this game. Even if we even get there, I think we could see first to 55 wins this one. So give me the under 118.5 in Sam Houston, North Texas. Next up, let's go to the CBI as Tarleton takes on Radford. This one's going to be 3:30 Eastern. Tarleton a 1-point favorite. Total is at 136.5. Now, Radford out of the Big South Conference. This was pretty much a down year for the Big South, in my opinion. I thought Radford was overvalued quite often in conference play this season. We saw UNC Asheville win the conference and win the conference tournament. They made it to the Big Dance. They were a 17.5-point underdog to UCLA. They lose by 33 points, 86-53, in a game that was never competitive at all. And I am concerned about the Big South and the rest of the postseason games this year, including this Radford team taking on a Tarleton team that plays very well fundamentally. They force a lot of turnovers. They get to the free throw line better than most teams in the country, and they're just overall a good defensive team. Not the best shooting team, but they score plenty of points because they can get those fast break opportunities. They can get to the free throw line, and they make their free throws at a decent rate. I think they're going to be able to attack this pretty overrated Radford defense quite often in this game. I think this matchup really benefits Tarleton, and it's a neutral site game, so no team has a home court advantage, but we're getting a really good price here with the much better team, in my opinion, and a team that played in a much tougher conference in the WAC. Tarleton playing teams like Grand Canyon, Utah Tech, Stephen F. Austin, Abilene Christian, all season long, Utah Valley, Southern Utah. I think that's a much better conference, much tougher schedule than the Big South teams like Presbyterian, USC, Upstate, Charleston Southern. So I'm going to take Tarleton here at a really good number. I'm going to take them on the money line. And finally, we go back to the NCAA tournament as Miami takes on Indiana in the second round. This one's going to be 8:40 Eastern. It'll be on TNT. And we see Indiana as a 1.5-point favorite. Total is at 145.5. Now, I think the wrong team is favored in this matchup. I think Miami is the better team fundamentally and shot quality-wise, and I think with Miami getting back Norchad Omier in the lineup, who was questionable going into that game against Drake, he played. Did he have his best shooting night? No, he was only 2 of 9 from the field, but he had 14 rebounds in that game, 5 offensive rebounds. He was certainly a difference maker in that ball game, and I think Miami with him and, with being at full strength, I think this Miami team is the better team. The Big Ten's had mixed results here in the NCAA tournament this season. We saw Purdue go down in the upset. We saw some Big Ten teams lose in the first round as well. And, I just think that they're overvalued overall. The Big Ten Conference, a lot of teams got in this year, just like last year and just like, in years prior. And yet again, the Big Ten is pretty much underperforming their expectations in the Big Dance. Miami, a team that we continue to get really good prices on. We saw in that Drake game, it was a very popular 12-5 upset pick. But Miami got the job done. Even though they were losing at various points in the second half, they found the 7-point win in the end. This is just a team and a coach in Jim Larinaga that knows how to win these types of games. They played very well in the tournament last year, making it to the Elite Eight. And I like their chances to grab a win here against an Indiana team I think has been overrated and overvalued for most of the season. So I'm going to take that 1.5. I'm going to take them on the money line, get that plus money as well with the Miami Canes in this one. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in college hoops. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.